Imagine yourself a 7-year-old girl who is fond of cute pink dresses and clever books and who is fond of dancing hip-hop. Well, now imagine that you are standing in a center of a gym alone between 15 boys who are at least 2 years older than you, and you are about to study something that you have never imagined to study: martial arts. That was the beginning of an 8-year-long period which was both a hobby, a nightmare, and a daydream for me. Despite my first impression of my new leisure activity, I changed my mind a few training sessions later. I'm not a big fan of many sports, but to cross my heart, I fell in love with martial arts immediately. I was happy until one awful episode happened. That was December, a few days before the winter holidays started. My classmates and I were sitting in a classroom and chatting about what we will do during our winter holidays. And when I accidentally mentioned my winter training session, everyone was speechless. My classmates were staring at me in awe before one girl asked, "How can you like such things? It's for boys." A few days later, I became the main object of jokes in my class, and my hobby was a scoop. My friends were there for me, of course, but even they were making fun of my hobby. Yet it was painful, so I tried to stay clear from people with really rude jokes. So, as you can see, my hobby suddenly became an explosive topic in my class, because everyone was telling me, "Karate isn't for girls, you can't do this." And I had agreed. Well, at least I knew that I didn't do karate during my trainings. Anyway, a few months later, everyone forgot about me and my hobby. I was happy that I can finally relax and take a break from those horrible jokes. I had no justification why they did called off, but it didn't bother me much. I was preparing for my first competition, a contest that was taking place in May. As I was the only girl in the group, I asked my trainer with whom of our boys will I compete. But he looked at me in surprise and said no. Then he just made an exit, leaving me alone and overwhelmed. Luckily, soon our group was told that another martial art section will also join us at our competitions. Then I knew that there will be 2 more girls. One was my friend from another group, and the other was a girl from our guest section. This news put a new spark in me, and the harder I was training, the more I believed in my victory. When the competition day came, I was feeling anxious and terrified. I was afraid of 2 things: a pain after a kick or a punch, and losing a fight. Despite all my confidence in my combat skills, I was afraid that it wasn't enough to take the first place. And I was right. In my first competitions, I got the 3rd place. It was a horrible result for me, as there were only 3 girls in my category. But miracles do happen. Well, not miracles. But sooner or later, my hard work was finally rewarded. In my first Kyiv championship, I won all fights and finally got the 1st place. I can still recall the joy I felt at that moment, and I still remember those moments of each victory. Believe me, those moments are one of the best ones in my life. But later I realized that victory doesn't taste anymore like it tasted the first time. Once I was taking a look at all those medals I have won, I was feeling tired of sport victories. I didn't need those regards anymore, because my desire for them has already burned out. So later I just left the section and never came back. Now I'm 17 years old. I'm cooler, wiser, and older than I was 10 years ago. And now I can see that my hunger for victory and power, which still haunts me, was born out from all those evil jokes and dirty refusal I got 10 years ago. I needed those medals to prove that I can win a fight, though I'm a girl. And I know that I have proved that me and martial arts are a perfect match. But you know what? I have also proved that anyone, nor I nor others, can be ashamed of their hobby, because it is what makes us ourselves. Because our hobby is a part of our soul. No one can steal and no one can make us give it up. And this is what I want to tell you. Take up whatever hobby you like, as it is a variety of them. From drawing and DIY to water polo and karate. There is something out there for everyone. Persist, be confident, and simply don't give up, because you don't know how even a little detail can change all your life. And if you are afraid that you are not enough to persist or that you will fail, just remember what Martin Luther King said once. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can walk, then crawl. But whenever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Thank you.